This video has been brought to you by DataVinci Analytics Agency.
Hello everyone, today we'll talk about landing page secrets, and without any delay, we'll head right into the video. So what are the things that we're going to discuss? We'll talk about what a landing page is, the process to design a great landing page, the conversion rules, the core elements in the anatomy of a landing page, and finally we'll analyze one landing page. So what is a landing page really? Now if I have to explain this in the simplest terms possible, I would say a landing page is like the first date. You have to impress your date, you have to engage with them, and you have to make sure that you get a second date. Well, in e-commerce world, a second date would mean a purchase or a sign up. So essentially, a landing page is the first page your visitors interact with after they've already engaged with your banner ads or your promotional email campaigns. And this page is designed with one specific goal. Now, this is a common question. Is the homepage similar to the landing page? The clear answer is no. A homepage educates the visitor about the brand or about the range of products that you have to offer. So the main goal is not conversion essentially. However, in a landing page, the goal is to talk about one particular product from the range of products that your brand has to offer, and the goal is to make sure that visitor converts to as a customer. So that's the major difference between the homepage and the landing page. A good landing page would give you a huge return on investment, and a bad one would probably burn a lot of money. So, what is the process to design a great landing page? It's a simple 4-step process. Number 1, identify your audience. So it's really important to understand that not everyone in the market can be your audience. So you should create a user persona, an ideal customer profile that resembles your target audience. For instance, if I'm running a brand that sells pet products, so my ideal customer would be a pet owner, and I would focus more on their problems, their needs, and their wants, and design my landing page accordingly. Number 2, define the most wanted action that people should perform on your page. So like I said, a landing page is designed with one single objective in mind. The CTAs that you place on your website, on your landing page, should be guiding the visitors only towards that one singular action. Number 3, craft your solution into an easy to understand message. The clearer your message is, the easier it is for the visitors to comprehend what exactly you're trying to sell, the more the chances of your conversion. So it's really important that whatever you're communicating is a no-brainer. It's almost intuitive. Number 4 and final one, design a landing page with the core elements. We'll talk about the core elements further in the video. So let's move on to the conversion models. So there are various conversion models in the market that you can follow to create a landing page for behavior model or AIDA model. But for now, we'll talk about the lift model. So essentially, the lift model has 6 conversion factors like value proposition, relevance, clarity, distraction, anxiety, and urgency. And essentially, you're trying to answer these 6 questions on your landing page. What's the value proposition? Is it relevant to the audience? Is the next section clear? Is there anything distracting from that? Anything that causes anxiety? Or can you create a sense of urgency for value proposition is the most important element on a landing page. This is the reason why people buy from you after all, which is why this sits at the middle of the lift model. All the remaining 5 factors are either the conversion drivers or conversion barriers. So the value proposition should be relevant to your visitor's needs and wants. And not just that, it should also be relevant to the pre-journey that the visitor already had. So if I saw something on the ad, it should be consistent on the website, on the landing page as well. Next up is clarity. So the brand can use any number of technical jargons to appear smart in their messaging, but if it is not obvious and a no-brainer for the audience, for the visitors, that would be probably a conversion killer rather than a conversion booster. Moving on to the conversion barriers like distraction and anxiety, we have to make sure there are no distracting elements like guiding the visitor to a different page altogether from the landing page, and also answering any possible questions that the visitors might have to reduce their anxiety. And finally, urgency. Urgency is one such element which we might not be able to use for every product or service out there. However, if you can utilize this for your product or service, it can act as a push that the visitor might need to make that purchase or sign up for that form. Aware that a visitor forms an opinion of your website within the first few seconds. So the easier it is for the visitor to comprehend what exactly you're trying to offer, the better it is for your conversion. So a headline that is benefit oriented can really do the work. Number 2, your company logo that for brand recognition. So if they have seen an ad and if they've landed on your website, the consistency, the one element that could create consistency for starters would be the logo. Number 3, a concise explanation of your offer, position above the fold. This could be utilized in the subheading. So essentially, in the first fold itself, you have a headline that is benefit oriented. Then you can have a subheadline that supports the offer that you have made. And finally, an image that is relevant to the headline and the subheadline or the product or service that you're offering, so that the visitor can visualize what they are going to get at the end of the day. Number four, for more complex offers or products, a detailed explanation can be placed below the fold. And this point raises a question: the question is if a long form landing page converts better or the short form one. And the answer is it really depends. It depends on the complexity of a product or the awareness level of your audience. The more aware your audience is, the shorter you'd probably want to go on your landing page, and the lesser aware your audience is, the lengthier your landing page would be. Number five, a visual representation of the product or service being offered. Like I mentioned, you can utilize imagery that supports your product or service. Ideally, it should be in the first fold itself with the headline and the subheadline, but you should utilize it more on the page as well. Number six, a streamlined form, preferably with just 1 to 3 fields. If in a landing page you are promoting a sign up for a firm, it's really important that you only have fields that are the most important to you. So, for instance, if you have a lead generation form, so you essentially only need the name, the email address, and the company's name. And you wouldn't need the phone number. So if you have a phone number field on your lead form or the form that you have on the landing page, you should probably remove it. So only have the forms fields that are really, really important. And next, a clear call to action button, whether it's making for a purchase or sign up. Like I mentioned, the landing page should have only one CTA, but it should be placed multiple times. The goal of the CTA or the objective of the landing page's CTA is only one. So if the goal of the landing page is to sign up for a service, the CTA would say, sign up now, sign me up, or anything that is relevant to the sign up part. And finally, a link to your privacy policy. Ideally open up in a pop-up window to keep visitors on the page without distractions. This goes without saying, the more complex the product is, the more expensive the product is, privacy policy becomes equally important. And for the service products, the SaaS products, privacy policy is like really important. And then elements to exclude. To give you a summary, we've been talking about the fact that a landing page has only one singular goal, which means anything that directs the users from the landing page to a different page altogether should be removed. So there is no need of a navigation bar in a landing page because you don't have to guide the visitors to any other element of your website. Similarly, it doesn't need to have an about us footer link or contact us footer link. Anything that would guide the visitor from the landing page to any different page should be removed. Now, having discussed all that, let's talk about the anatomy of a landing page. And before I get to that, I would like to highlight that this wireframe has 3 CTAs. But every CTA directs users to one common conversion goal, that is get my free demo. Now, in the first fold, we have the logo. We have a headline that supports the USP, a benefit-oriented headline. Number 2, a subheadline that supports the headline or the USP. And number 3, a hero image or animation or video that is relevant to the product or service that you're offering. And finally, a CTA. After the first fold, we have the benefits and then the social proof. Now, this wireframe doesn't mean that you have to use these elements in the very same order. You might want to use social proof first and talk about the benefits later. It all depends on the kind of story you're trying to create, and that story depends on the awareness level of your audience and your conversion goal. And finally, we have a CTA again. So essentially, these elements make a landing page. And now let's see the real life example of a landing page. So we'll take Slack for an example. This is one of the best landing pages that I've come across. And before I get to break it down or talk about the elements, I would like to highlight this. This is Slack's homepage. The structure is different, the copy is different, and the entire story flow is different. And this is the landing page. The purpose of the landing page, I can tell, is they are highlighting a special offer, and the intention of this landing page is to promote more sales with this offer. Now, in the first fold, what we can see is there is a headline, a subheadline, and an image plus a CTA. So the image, if you have already used Slack, you would know that this is how the tool looks like. So it helps me as a visitor visualize what I would get at the end of the day. And in the first fold also, we have some big companies. So this is working as a social proof, like Airbnb, Spotify, Uber, and all these companies are really famous. All these brands are really famous, and these are working as a social proof. So as we saw on the wireframe, in the first fold there was no social proof, and after the first fold itself there were features. Here in this landing page, they are using social proof in the first fold itself. So like I said, the arrangement of your elements on the landing page could really depend and would depend on the flow that you're creating. In the next fold here, they talk about the features of the Slack Pro version, which they intend to promote on this page. So they're highlighting the free version and the pro version differences, and there's a clear comparison. And moving on, we get the features. So the structure of the wireframe and what we are seeing on the landing page is completely different. However, the elements are essentially the same. We have the features, we have the social proof again, and we have the headline, subheadline, and an image. So the elements are similar, just the placement varies. So we have features like move faster, solve problems aloud, use audio and video clips, and easily work with partners at the same time. And then they're using statistics. Statistics also acts as social proof. So social proof is not limited to testimonials. You can utilize the client base that you have. You can utilize how long you have been in the company, or you have been in the e-com world, or like use the statistics that are relevant to your audience. And finally, they have a frequently asked question. This section itself could remove any anxiety that the visitor might have. Ideally, an FAQ section should answer any potential question your visitor might have. It's even better if you can utilize that in the copy itself and not create a FAQ section at all. And finally, don't miss out on discount and a CTA again. So we discussed in the wireframe, all the elements that we needed, like social proof, headline, subheadline, and image, clear CTA that does not guide the visitor to a different page altogether, are all on this landing page. And with that breakdown, it's a wrap on today's video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you need help with landing page optimization, you can always reach out to DataVinci Analytics. Signing off.